In this video, we are talking about the sixth point of alignment, that is your feet alignment. Well, the whole video, this is the sixth part of the video. We have the alignments for breathing. That is when you do your yogic asanas, how is breathing concerned with. Then we talk about the neck. Then we talk about the shoulders, that is the third. Fourth, we talk about the rib cage alignment. Fifth, we talk about the pelvic and the core neutrality. How should your core be? How should your pelvic be? And the last one is your foot alignment. So here we talk about in this video feet alignment, but in the videos that I'll be going to make, we'll be covering the topic on everything step by step, covering all the details of the 6 point of alignment, and just go ahead and watch it. Thank you. Namaste friends, my name is Ritesh, and today we would be focusing on the alignment of our feet. Friends, as yoga teachers or yoga practitioners, it is very important for us to know what the anatomy of our feet is and to what extent the biomechanics is, the gait, the way we move while we do the asanas. And most of the injuries nowadays are happening because of yoga. So that is the reason it becomes very important as a yoga practitioner or a yoga teacher to have a little bit of information regarding the anatomy of your feet. So in today's video, we will be focusing on overpronation and supination. Friends, some of these terms very simple, very easy to understand. At the same time, I'll be focusing on the Dominos effect. That is, if some changes happens in your feet, whether it is knock knees or bow legs, what happens to the whole alignment? At the same time, we would be focusing on the arches, the 3 arches of your feet, and how would that help you in your alignment. At the same time, 3 points. So we have basically 3-point grounding, as if the foot should be connected on the 3-point, and according to that how things changes. And people who have cramps in their leg, especially one of the reasons would be toe clamping or toe gripping. So let us now get into the understanding, a little bit of understanding of what this feet anatomy is all about. Now friends, let us talk about overpronation. So what is overpronation? Overpronation is somewhere that my feet is getting inside. So if both feet, one feet is getting medially rotated. So that is also known as valgus or knock knees. Or now what is happening? The weight of the whole body is getting transferred on the medial side of the feet, also known as the medial longitudinal arch. And if you see the heel, now the first and foremost thing you see is the overpronation. So what is happening with the overpronation? If you see, the heel alignment is getting a little bit of cross. Now at the same time, if you see the pronation, so what's happening? Your pronation, so somewhat pronation is safe and this one is neutral. So friends, it's very important that whenever you're doing your yoga practices, try to keep your feet neutral. The next content or the next image that we're talking about is over supination. Now what happens in over supination? You have varus or bow legs where the knees go out and the connection is somewhere this. Now in that relation, what's happening? Your weight is getting outside of your feet. So you are having a lateral. So now the weight is going outside. What's happening? More connection here, right? So what is happening? The lateral longitudinal arch is being pressed. Now if you see that image of the shadow of the feet, you might find as a high arch. Friends, so this is when you're practicing your yoga poses, it is very important to check how is my feet foundation? That would play a very important role. Supination is somewhat comfortable, it's still safe, but your ideal alignment would be neutral. If you see this image, what's happening? The heel and the ankle is in one line. So that is what we need when you're practicing the yogic asanas, especially most of the standing positions you need to really take care of. Now here we will be talking about the Dominos effect. What is this Dominos effect? Now let us watch that video. One thing goes, the other thing goes down, and that is what it happens with our body also. Let's understand it. So friends, first, for example, let us see that if our foot pronates or supinates. So let's say example, if my foot pronates, what's happening? First and foremost, I might have a flat feet, or because of flat feet, I will have a pronation. Next, what's happening? Because of that, I would have a knock knees, that is known as a valgum. Now, in that case, if I have a knock knees, there is a possibility that I might have a knee pain. Might be not today, 10 months down the line, 1 year down the line. If you are keeping your practice regular, this is what was going to happen if you're not focusing on the alignment. And the next is, as the knee goes in, there is a hip adduction. That means the hip, the femur goes in the midline, automatically your hip tilts. So what's happening? If my hip tilts, automatically there is a back pain happening. It's very normal to have a back pain, friends, and in that case, whenever there is a pelvic tilt, there is a chances of thoracic and lumbar scoliosis. That is also known as functional scoliosis. So friends, it's very important to check care of your feet foundation, and in case if that is not a problem, the next after the scoliosis issues, you would have something known as the right shoulder depressing down because the body is trying to adjust, and then you might have a neck pain in the future just because the feet was over pronated. Friends, remember, pronation is not a problem, but over pronation is definitely a problem. So with all these relationships, you might have a lot of stress in your life and mental fatigue. You feel really very much tired. At times when you are practicing, you will have a burning sensation. And now in this, we are talking about the anatomy of your feet. So friends, if you see the image here, what's happening? We have a medial longitudinal arch. The green line, if you see in that image, is your medial longitudinal arch. Then we have a lateral longitudinal arch. Now what is the lateral longitudinal arch? The lateral longitudinal arch, that is the side. So if that is my right foot, this is the medial, this is the lateral arch, and on the top we have a transverse arch. So that is the image where it shows the proper connection of your feet. So what are the three arches? Medial longitudinal arch, the lateral longitudinal arch, and the transverse arch. And why it is beneficial? So first of all, these three arches help you in flexibility. It helps you in shock absorption. So whenever you're focusing on any of the asanas you're doing, it helps in shock absorption and surface adaptation. So that's the reason we have 3-point contact. At the same time, when the feet is placed, there is an equal distribution on the top and the sides. So the feet is placement becomes a very important point. Now, if you're having a flat feet, I would recommend that you practice your yoga asanas, especially the standing ones, with the toes lifted up. What is happening? It activates your plantar fascia muscles, and that is good to engage the whole leg. And now let's focus on the feet alignment. So whenever you are moving, so keep your walking where the direction is, walk in the forward direction. Now what's happening? When you keep your legs out, it's not in the direction of forces. so you are having a duck walk. So that is the reason we have knee and feet are in one line. That is the kneecap and the second toe in one line. And now in this image, we'll be talking about the tripod. Now it's very important to note that to maintain an alignment of our feet, we have 26 bones and 33 joints. Now only if these bones and joints are active properly, aligned, that is where your foot foundation would be strong. So let us understand it. The first point is your heel. That's also known as your center of your calcaneus. The second is the head of the fifth metatarsal, that is also known as your pinky toe. And the third is known as your head of the metatarsal, that is the big toe. So these are the 3 points, and according to that even your arches are connected. And that's the reason most of the camera has tripod, not a quadpod. Geometrically, you are more flexible with a 3-point contact. In fact, a research has been done regarding why 3-point contact is more better foundation than a 4-point contact. Although you will always feel a 4-point contact would be more stronger base, but actually it's a 3-point contact. Now friends, here at times when you're practicing your warrior 1, warrior 2, or even a balancing pose, people complain that they have strain, they have cramps, there is a lot of burning sensation. So one of the reasons that you might get a burning sensation is, are you toe gripping? That is the arches. So what happens is, if you start clamping your toes, automatically the ball of the feet starts lifting up. When this ball of the feet starts lifting up, the 33 joints that you have gets inactive. That means the plantar fascia muscles gets inactive. And that's the reason it is very important, friends, that don't grip your toes. Now what is happening when you're clamping it? The foot is getting external, outside. So the weight is coming on the outside of your foot just because you're clamping your toes. And if you are clamping, if you are gripping, what's happening? The foot becomes very rigid, very hard, inflexible. Hope friends you enjoyed this video. I would be covering more videos on breathing, on the neck, that is the cervical spine alignment, and the ribcage alignment, or lots of other videos. Do watch. Wish you very happy Diwali. Namaste.